Hello and welcome to Sew and Stack. With the spirit of spring and Easter, we're gonna make this beautiful tulip flower Easter egg. You can add the twine to hang if you like. Keep watching. I have selected felt in 3 colors, green, pink and antique white, matching DMC embroidery threads, pair of scissors, fiber fill, pins and needle, a wooden stick to use in filling. It's not a must. You will find the pattern in the description. We're gonna need 2 from the egg shape. Like we always do, first I pin my pattern to the fabric. Then start cutting around it. Remove the pins and we're gonna need 2 from this. Now I'm moving to the petal part. Keep the pattern on top of the fabric like this and use your thumb to hold the pattern. Now start cutting around the pattern. Because these are smaller pieces, this way is more practical than pinning it down. Move your thumb time to time to do the cutting. We'll need 2 of these as well. Cut the middle part of the flower and we only gonna need 1 of these. Now I am moving to the leaf. If you feel like it is hard to cut by holding the pattern, go ahead and draw the pattern on the fabric first. And then start cutting around it, and this doesn't have to be precise. We'll need 2 leaves. Now that we have all the pieces ready, let's start sewing. Take one of the egg shape and I'm starting from the mid part of the petal. For the sewing, I have untangled 1 strand from the embroidery thread. Then I thread my needle. What I do is, I make this a double strand by making a knot using both ends of the thread. That way I do not have to worry about slipping away one end of the thread. I'm only gonna stitch the base part because I want the tulip flower to appear bloomed. And I'm using back stitch here. If you don't know how to do the back stitch, please check out our tutorial on how to do the back stitch. I'll leave the link in the description. Now I'm moving to the petals. First, I'll see how I want it to be, spreading out in 2 sides like this. I'm starting from 1 petal. Even in this case, I'm gonna leave the top part as it is and I start stitching the rest. And I end my sewing here. Then I'm moving to the next petal. Hold the petal to form a tulip flower like this. Again, leave the top part as it is. Then start sewing. Keep going till you meet the top part. I'll stop my sewing here and turn around. Make a knot to end the stitch. Finally, trim the excess thread. Now that we are done with the flower, I am moving to the leaves. First, I decide where I want the leaves to be, like this. I have prepped my needle with a green color thread this time. We'll start from one leaf by holding it using the thumb. Start sewing along the midline of the leaf. This is also backstitch. Continue till you get to the other end of the leaf. Keep the second leaf connecting to the first and start sewing like you did before. When you come to the end, turn around and make a knot to end the stitch. Trim the excess thread. To stitch the stem, I'm going to draw a line connecting the flower to the leaves like this. Then I thread my needle with 6 strands and make a knot at the end. Start sewing along the line using backstitch. By using 6 strands, it will give more thickness to the stem. Turn around and make a knot to end the stitch. Trim the excess thread. Now we are done with the decoration part. We only have to assemble the Easter egg. For that, keep the one with the flower on top of the other. Keep your needle ready with double strand and a knot at the end. If you are thinking of hanging the Easter egg, make sure to keep a twine ready. I'm using some jute cord. Cut a piece of jute cord about 8 inches in length, fold it in half and make a knot like this. You're gonna need this when you come to the top part of the sewing. Now start sewing using blanket stitch. Blanket stitch is used to sew 2 fabric layers together. I'm not gonna go into details on how to do the blanket stitch. Please check out our tutorial on blanket stitch for that. I'll link the video in the description. When we come to the top part of the egg, place the jute cord in between 2 layers. Spread the 2 cords little bit apart like this. and do a stitch enclosing the first jute cord. Then continue the stitching at the middle. When the mid part is done, do a stitch enclosing the second jute cord. Now you can see the cord is secure. Continue sewing along the way. We're gonna start stuffing using the fiber fill when we reach about 3/4 of the way. Take a little bit of stuffing at a time and start to fill the egg. You can use the wooden stick to reach the far ends. Since this is not much of a narrow space, you can also do this using your fingers. I got this wooden stick for free when I bought a pack of fiber fill. It is totally up to you how much of the fiber fill you want inside. Some people like less and some may like it to feel more cushion-like. Keep sewing and filling like this until you think it is enough. We're gonna end the blanket stitch by making a knot. All of these are included in the blanket stitch tutorial. Hide the thread in between two layers and trim the excess thread. So this is the final look of our Easter egg. Thank you for watching and I'll join you in the next video.